Is a glass of milk before bed the key to good health? Or is it a direct ticket to digestive disaster? When it comes to nutrition, perhaps no other product sparks as much controversy as milk. Some hail it as an elixir of life, a powerhouse of calcium and protein. Others call it white poison, blaming it for acne, bloating, and even more serious illnesses. So, what's the truth here? Our grandparents drank gallons of milk and seemed perfectly healthy. Yet today, it seems like every second person talks about lactose intolerance. In this video, we're going to launch a full-scale investigation. We'll separate scientific facts from marketing myths, and finally figure out if milk is truly a friend or foe to the adult human body. And I promise you, by the end of this episode, you will have a clear answer based not on guesswork, but on solid, verifiable evidence. Are you ready to hear the whole truth that might have been hidden from you? Before we dive into the battle of the arguments, let's take a quick trip back in time. How exactly did milk become such an iconic staple? For thousands of years, it was certainly an important part of the diet in specific cultures, but its worldwide fame is actually a relatively new phenomenon. The real milk boom happened in the 20th century. Following the wars, governments in many countries, especially across the West, launched massive campaigns promoting milk as a superfood. Remember those posters? Drink milk, kids, stay healthy. School programs where every child received a glass of milk became the norm. It was a brilliant marketing strategy that transformed an ordinary product into a symbol of health, strength, and proper nutrition. Milk became associated with child care, strong bones, and even the American dream. This idea is now so deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness that questioning the benefits of milk today almost feels like sacrilege. But science never sleeps, and what was considered an absolute truth yesterday requires careful scrutiny today. Let's dive straight into milk's most famous benefit, its absolute superstar, calcium. Since childhood, we've been told, drink your milk for strong bones. And there is absolutely a massive amount of truth to this claim. Milk and dairy products are truly some of the richest and, more importantly, most bioavailable sources of calcium. What does bioavailable mean? It means our body absorbs and utilizes it very easily and efficiently. Calcium isn't just a simple building block for our bones and teeth. It also plays a vital role in muscle contraction, nerve impulse transmission, and even blood clotting. Think of the intricate mechanism of a clock, where every gear is essential. Calcium is one of those crucial gears in the machinery of our body. However, calcium doesn't work optimally alone. It needs a reliable partner, vitamin D, and luckily, milk often already contains it, or it is added during processing, a process called fortification. This powerful duo, calcium and vitamin D, work together to maintain bone density, which becomes especially crucial as we age, when the risk of osteoporosis, or brittle bones, significantly increases. From this perspective, a glass of milk truly looks like armor for our entire skeletal system. But is the whole story really that simple? Now let's turn our attention to the second pillar of milk's nutritional prowess: protein. Milk contains two primary types of protein: casein, which makes up about 80%, and whey protein, which constitutes the remaining 20%. Both of these are considered high-quality, complete proteins because they contain all 9 essential amino acids, the ones our body cannot produce on its own. Whey protein is the undeniable star of the fitness world. It's quickly digested, making it ideal for immediate muscle recovery right after a workout. This is why it forms the basis of most commercial protein shakes. Casein, on the other hand, is digested much slower, steadily supplying your muscles with amino acids over several hours. This slow release makes it an excellent option for a nighttime snack to prevent muscle catabolism or muscle breakdown while you sleep. Therefore, for those actively training or looking to gain muscle mass, milk is a truly valuable and, perhaps more importantly, affordable source of building material for the body. It's like having both fast-acting contractors and reliable, slow-releasing material suppliers available at the same time. But milk isn't just calcium and protein. It's actually a complete vitamin and mineral cocktail packed into a single glass. Let's take a closer look at what's inside. Beyond the vitamin D we already mentioned, milk is rich in B vitamins, especially riboflavin, also known as B2, and vitamin B12. Riboflavin helps our bodies convert food into energy, while vitamin B12 is critically important for a healthy nervous system and the formation of red blood cells. A deficiency can lead to anemia and serious neurological issues. Milk also contains high levels of phosphorus, which works alongside calcium to build strong bones, and potassium, which is crucial for maintaining normal blood pressure and heart health. We can't forget selenium, a powerful antioxidant, and vitamin A, which is essential for vision and immune function. Essentially, just one glass of milk covers a significant portion of your daily requirements for many key nutrients. This makes it a highly nutritious food, especially for those whose diets might not be diverse enough. Now let's look past plain milk and focus on its fermented derivatives. Products such as kefir, yogurt, and ryazhenka. These are true superheroes for our gut health. During the culturing process, lactic acid bacteria break down lactose, or milk sugar, and enrich the product with beneficial probiotics. Probiotics are those essential good bacteria that reside in our intestines and form the foundation of a healthy gut microbiome. They help us digest food, synthesize certain vitamins, and most importantly, they provide crucial support to our immune system. This is vital because about 70% of all immune cells reside right there in the gut. Regularly consuming fermented dairy can significantly improve digestion, reduce bloating and general discomfort, and may even help the body fight off certain infections. Interestingly, many people who struggle to tolerate regular milk can drink kefir without issue. This is because most of the lactose has already been consumed by the beneficial bacteria during fermentation. So, in this context, milk acts as the foundation for creating a product that is ultimately even more beneficial to your overall health. Chances are, you've heard that age-old advice: if you can't fall asleep, try drinking a glass of warm milk. This isn't just an old wives' tale. There's real science behind this nighttime ritual. The secret lies in an amino acid found in milk called tryptophan. In our bodies, tryptophan is converted into serotonin, often called the happy hormone, which can then be converted into melatonin, the key hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycles. Theoretically, a dose of tryptophan before bed should help us relax and drift off more quickly. However, scientists debate whether a single glass of milk contains enough tryptophan to have any noticeable sleep-inducing effect. Many believe that the psychological factor plays a much larger role. Warm milk is a ritual often linked to childhood, bringing associations of comfort, security, and care. This routine itself is incredibly calming to the nervous system, helping to prepare the body for rest. Plus, a warm drink helps slightly raise your core body temperature. The subsequent drop in temperature then signals to the brain that it's time for sleep. So, even if the chemical boost isn't significant, the psychological and physiological comfort we gain from a warm glass of milk is certainly real. While milk is often viewed merely as a drink, it's actually a complete and highly nutritious food. And naturally, like all foods, it serves as a vital source of energy. The primary carbohydrate found in milk is lactose, commonly known as milk sugar. This is a disaccharide, meaning it's composed of two simpler sugars, glucose and galactose. When we consume milk, the enzyme lactase in our bodies breaks the lactose down into these two separate components. They are then rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream, providing us with immediate energy. This rapid absorption is why a glass of milk or a quick smoothie can be an excellent way to replenish your energy after a strenuous workout, or simply to give you a noticeable boost during the midday slump. Unlike the empty calories found in sugary snacks or sodas, the energy derived from milk comes bundled with essential proteins, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. This comprehensive package makes milk a truly balanced source of fuel for our entire body. Of course, for those dealing with lactose intolerance, this energy source poses a digestive challenge. However, for people who process lactose efficiently, milk remains an excellent, nutritious energy solution, one that provides sustained strength rather than just a temporary sugar spike. We've often discussed the benefits of calcium for bone health, but it's easy to forget that our teeth are essentially bone material too, meaning milk is just as crucial for them. Dental health hinges on two primary minerals, calcium and phosphorus. These are the essential building blocks for tooth enamel, the hardest tissue in the human body, which protects teeth from decay. Milk is rich in both calcium and phosphorus, delivered in a form that is easily absorbed by the body. Regular consumption of these minerals helps strengthen the enamel from within, making it more resistant to the acids that form in the mouth after meals and erode teeth. Furthermore, the casein protein found in milk can form a thin protective film on the surface of the teeth, which also helps prevent mineral loss. Some research even suggests that drinking milk after eating sweets can help neutralize the acidic environment in the mouth and reduce the risk of cavities. So, unlike sugary juices and sodas that actively damage your teeth, a glass of milk can actually serve as a powerful defense mechanism. Let's take a practical look at milk. In a world where store shelves are overflowing with expensive superfoods, exotic supplements, and protein powders, milk remains one of the most affordable and nutrient-rich staples. Its price is relatively low, and you can buy it in virtually any store. This makes it an indispensable item for many families, especially those on a tight budget. Consider this. To get the same amount of protein, calcium, and vitamins from other sources, you often have to combine several different products, which is usually both more expensive and more complicated. For example, obtaining the necessary calcium from plant-based sources requires eating a significantly large serving of broccoli or spinach, and even then, the body absorbs it less effectively than it does calcium from milk. Milk, on the other hand, offers a complete package of nutrients, all in one convenient drink. This combination of accessibility and nutritional density makes it a vital resource for public health, particularly for children, seniors, and those who cannot afford expensive diets. It is a simple, straightforward, and cost-effective way to enrich your daily nutrition. Now let's switch gears and talk about the challenges. The main one, which almost everyone has heard of, is lactose intolerance. Lactose is a milk sugar. To properly digest it, our gut needs to produce a specific enzyme called lactase. Infants produce this enzyme in large quantities, as milk is their only food source. However, as most people on the planet grow older, lactase production significantly decreases. This is actually the genetic norm. Historically, the ability to digest milk into adulthood developed as a genetic mutation in the populations of Northern Europe and some nomadic tribes in Africa, for whom dairy farming was essential for survival. For the remaining 70% of the global population, consuming milk as an adult can cause uncomfortable symptoms, bloating, gas, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. This happens because undigested lactose travels into the large intestine, where bacteria feast on it, leading to fermentation. So, if you feel uncomfortable after a glass of milk, you aren't sick. Most likely, you simply belong to the genetic majority of humanity. We generally understand the issues surrounding lactose, but far less is said about casein, and that's a mistake. Casein is the primary protein found in milk, and crucially, it isn't all the same. The two most common types are A1 and A2 casein. Originally, every cow produced milk containing only the A2 protein. However, several thousand years ago in Europe, a genetic mutation occurred, leading to the A1 type. This A1 type now dominates the milk supply from most modern breeds. So, what sets them apart? When the A1 protein is digested, it breaks down to form a specific peptide called beta-casomorphin 7, or BCM7. Some researchers connect BCM7 to gut inflammation, digestive discomfort, and even the exacerbation of autoimmune conditions and autism symptoms in susceptible individuals. The A2 protein, conversely, does not produce this problematic peptide. What's fascinating is that many people who believe they have lactose intolerance may actually be reacting specifically to A1 casein. When they switch to A2 milk, which is increasingly available on store shelves, those unpleasant symptoms often vanish entirely. This remains a major area of ongoing research, but the evidence suggests that the issue with milk might be far more complex than a simple sugar intolerance. Another common complaint regarding milk revolves around skin health, particularly acne. Many dermatologists and their patients observe a direct correlation. Often simply eliminating dairy products leads to noticeably clearer skin. Scientific research backs up this connection, and there are several potential explanations for why this happens. First, milk, especially skim milk, can elevate levels of insulin and insulin-like growth factor 1, commonly known as IGF-1. These hormones stimulate sebum production and promote inflammation, both of which are key drivers in the development of acne. Second, as we'll discuss shortly, milk naturally contains hormones that can interfere with our own endocrine system and trigger breakouts. Of course, this doesn't mean everyone who drinks milk will automatically suffer from acne. Reactions are highly individualized and depend heavily on genetics and overall bodily health. But if you're struggling to manage persistent acne, and feel like you've already tried every remedy, it might be worth eliminating dairy for a few weeks to see how your skin responds. The results just might surprise you. Let's be honest, cow's milk is specifically designed to help a calf grow extremely fast. For this reason, it is naturally saturated with growth hormones. The key player here is the aforementioned insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, which is virtually identical in both humans and cows. Its sole purpose is to stimulate rapid cell growth. While this is great for a calf, for an adult human, that constant stimulation of cell growth can be undesirable. In fact, some researchers link it to an elevated risk of developing certain cancers, particularly prostate and breast cancer. On top of that, cows used in industrial dairy production are often milked throughout their pregnancy. Milk produced during this time contains elevated levels of female sex hormones, specifically estrogens and progesterone. While the majority of these hormones are broken down during digestion, a certain percentage may still enter the bloodstream, potentially affecting our hormonal balance. The significance of this influence remains a highly debated topic among scientists, but the mere fact that we are consuming these foreign hormones is enough to make many people pause and reconsider. Now let's tackle one of the biggest myths, the one surrounding calcium and osteoporosis. We've always been told that milk is essential for strong bones. But here's the paradox. Countries with the highest dairy consumption, like the United States and Scandinavian nations, also report the highest rates of hip fractures and osteoporosis. Meanwhile, in Asian countries, where milk consumption is traditionally very low, those rates are drastically lower. What accounts for this discrepancy? This leads us to a theory known as the acid-alkaline hypothesis. This theory suggests that animal products, including dairy, create an acidic environment within the body. To neutralize this acidity, the body is forced to leach alkaline minerals, primarily calcium, from our bones. Essentially, the more calcium we consume via milk, the more of it we may actually end up losing. Major long-term studies, such as the famous Harvard Nurses' Health Study, which spanned decades, have failed to find a conclusive link between high milk intake and a reduced risk of fractures. It turns out that achieving strong bone health relies far more on getting calcium from diverse sources, like leafy greens and nuts, maintaining optimal vitamin D levels, and engaging in regular weight-bearing exercise. When the subject of milk comes up, we usually picture the low-fat or skim variety, often believing it's the healthier choice. But let's take a closer look at whole milk. It contains a considerable amount of saturated fat. For a long time, saturated fats were viewed as the primary enemy of cardiovascular health, linked to raising bad cholesterol levels and increasing the risk of atherosclerosis. Today, however, the scientific community is rethinking this dogma. Some studies suggest that dairy fats might not be as detrimental as previously thought, and they may even offer certain health benefits. Nevertheless, for individuals who already have cardiovascular issues or high cholesterol, consuming an excess of saturated fats in their diet is still generally not recommended. Furthermore, whole milk is relatively high in calories. If you drink several glasses daily, it's easy to exceed your calorie requirements, leading to weight gain, which is itself a risk factor for numerous diseases. Therefore, when deciding on the fat content of your milk, it's crucial to consider your lifestyle, current health status, and overall caloric intake. We can't discuss milk without touching upon its industrial production. The milk found on most supermarket shelves comes from massive factory farms where the cows are often kept in less than ideal conditions to maximize yield and prevent the diseases that inevitably arise from such cramped confinement. These animals are frequently given growth hormones and antibiotics. Traces of these substances can remain in the final product. While strict regulatory standards are in place to guarantee milk safety, the very idea of consuming residual doses of antibiotics raises serious concerns. This contributes to the development of antibiotic resistance, one of the major global threats to modern public health. This occurs when bacteria evolve and become insensitive to medication. Furthermore, many individuals choose to forego milk for ethical reasons, refusing to support an industry where animals are treated not as living creatures, but merely as production machines. While this aspect may not be directly linked to biochemistry, for many consumers, it is the deciding factor. Even if you are not lactose intolerant and do not react badly to casein, milk can still cause some digestive discomfort. Some people complain of feeling heavy, bloated, or notice increased mucus production after consuming dairy products. The idea that milk is mucus-forming was long considered a myth. However, recent research suggests that for individuals with a specific genetic predisposition, dairy truly can stimulate mucus hypersecretion in the airways, potentially worsening symptoms of asthma or chronic congestion. Furthermore, milk is a relatively dense product that requires significant effort from our digestive system to break down. As we age, the production of all digestive enzymes, not just lactase, naturally declines. This means that something that was easily tolerated in your 20s might start causing problems in your 50s. This further confirms the idea that there is no one-size-fits-all answer, and the best indicator remains the specific reaction of your own body. So, is all milk created equal in terms of health benefits or drawbacks? The answer is a definitive no. Quality makes a monumental difference. There is a huge distinction between milk sourced from a cow that spent its life confined in a stall, fed processed feed and supplements, and milk from a cow that grazed freely on pasture, eating fresh grass. Grass-fed milk, specifically, contains significantly higher levels of beneficial omega-3 fatty acids, conjugated linoleic acid, which is known for its anti-inflammatory properties, and crucial antioxidants, such as vitamin E and beta-carotene. Organic milk, on the other hand, guarantees that the cows were not treated with synthetic hormones or antibiotics. As we've mentioned before, there is also A2 milk, which can be an excellent alternative for individuals who react poorly to conventional dairy. While these premium products certainly come with a higher price tag, the cost is justified not only by the superior nutritional profile, but also by a more humane and sustainable approach to animal husbandry. Therefore, if you choose to keep milk in your diet, it's probably better to prioritize quality over quantity. Choose less often, but choose better. With all the controversy surrounding dairy milk, the plant-based alternative market is absolutely booming. Oat, almond, soy, coconut, rice. The variety is enormous, and each alternative comes with its own pros and cons. Soy milk is rich in protein, almost matching dairy, but it often sparks debate due to phytoestrogens. Almond milk is low in calories, but it provides almost no protein. Oat milk offers a lovely creamy texture, but it typically contains higher amounts of carbohydrates. It's crucial to understand that nutritionally, plant-based milk is not a direct substitute for dairy milk. It often falls short on protein and calcium content unless the manufacturer has fortified it. Therefore, when switching to plant milk, you need to read the labels carefully and make sure you aren't missing out on vital nutrients. Furthermore, many of these drinks have added sugar, oils, and stabilizers to improve flavor and consistency. Because of this, when choosing a plant-based milk, it's also important to prioritize products with the simplest and cleanest ingredient list possible. After absorbing all this information, your head might be spinning. So, what should you actually do? The answer is incredibly simple. Listen to your own body. It is your most accurate and reliable guide. There is no single product or food in the world that is universally beneficial or harmful. Your genetics, the state of your gut microbiome, your lifestyle, and your stress levels, all of these factors influence how you react to any given food. If you consume milk and feel great, with no issues relating to your skin or digestion, fantastic, it probably suits you just fine. However, if you notice recurring discomfort, bloating, skin breakouts, or a general dip in your overall well-being, it's time to try a simple experiment. Completely eliminate all dairy products from your diet for 3 to 4 weeks. This period is usually enough time for your system to clear out, allowing you to properly assess the difference. After that, gradually reintroduce a single product, perhaps yogurt, and carefully track how your body responds. This is the best way to figure out, once and for all, whether dairy is a friend or a foe to your personal health. So, we arrive at the core question: to drink or not to drink. As you've likely gathered, there is no simple yes or no answer. Milk is neither an absolute good nor an absolute evil. It is a product with an incredibly complex and often contradictory profile. On the one hand, it's an accessible source of high-quality protein, calcium, and essential vitamins. On the other hand, it can cause digestive issues, skin problems, and carries potential risks associated with hormones and saturated fats. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in the middle. For one person, organic, grass-fed milk or high-quality kefir might be a valuable and nourishing part of their diet. For another, perhaps someone with lactose intolerance or casein sensitivity, even the highest quality dairy product will cause harm. Therefore, the main conclusion we can draw is this. The question shouldn't be, is milk healthy? But rather, is this specific milk healthy for me? Stop following blanket recommendations and start listening intently to the signals your own body is sending you. Well, that was quite the plot twist, wasn't it? It turns out this product we thought was so simple and straightforward since childhood is actually a real mystery, a complex puzzle. The key takeaway from our investigation is this: demonizing milk or idealizing it are equally wrong approaches. Its effect on your health depends on an enormous number of variables: your genetics, the quality of the product itself, the amount you consume, and the specific form you consume it in, whether that's whole milk, cheese, or kefir. Perhaps the ideal solution for you lies in fermented dairy products. They offer the benefits but mitigate some of the common issues. Or maybe your best choice is simply eliminating dairy entirely and switching to plant-based alternatives. What matters most is making a conscious, informed decision. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I really hope this helped you navigate this complicated topic. If you learned something new today, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future deep dives. Now for the big question for you. Do you drink milk? Share your stories in the comments below. How does your body react to it, and which do you prefer, cow's milk or a plant-based option? Let's start a discussion.